Hey everybody, it's Call. You're watching Talking Ball, and again, I'm coming at you bald, no cap, on natural. Bald is beautiful, baby. This again, I'll say it is what peak male performance looks like. Bald spot here. There's one back here. You just can't see it, and that's okay. How's everybody doing this morning? It's a little earlier than normal. It's a little early for me, so I am getting hype. Getting the energy in. This one in particular is a rock star, fruit punch. In case you wanted to know, and it is doing the job. Hopefully you are all good. Hopefully everybody is having a great day, no matter where you are in the world. Morning here, afternoon over in the UK. Very late at night, I think, in Australia. My Australian friends. Thank you guys again for Postecoglou, and I promise we're going to take great care of him. We already are, and he's taking great care of us. Hope everybody is just healthy, happy, and ready for Spurs this weekend. We got Chris Peters in the house. Chris Peters is very special to this channel. Chris Peters was our very first Patreon member. So if you want to be like Chris and Wayne Bonner, our two Patreon members, go ahead and click the link here. Check out this link here, and there are 3 membership options, ranging from very cheap to pretty cheap. Check them out. See what you can do. If you can do anything, we'd love it. It helps us, helps us keep the lights on in here. But if you can't do it, no worries. Just like and subscribe to the channel, and that is just as helpful, if not more. So you guys, thank you again. Sure, you saw on the thumbnail, and sure you've maybe seen some news. It looks like there might be a Mourinho meetup between him and Eric Dier. We got these two fellas looking to meet up again. What are they going to do? Hopefully, I think it's just football, but I don't know. Mourinho and Dier. Oh my God, it's Wayne Bonner. Just speak his name and he will appear. Wayne, what is up, my man? Yeah, I'm having a great day. It just started, but I hope you're having a good day. Hope everybody's having a great day. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this on repeat, appreciate you guys. You're all great people. Thank you so much for being here, for choosing to spend your time with me and these other wonderful Spurs fans in the chat. Speaking of, we got Adrian Sroka in the house too. Adrian! Yo, Adrian! What's up, my man? Good to have you here. Oh, no wonder it sounded quiet in here. I meant to do this. I'm so sorry, guys. There we go. Better. Much better. Okay. Let me know in the comments if that's too loud, not loud enough. Want to make sure the vibes are immaculate today. But yes, so we do have business to attend to. Not only do we have Liverpool at the weekend, in my opinion, our toughest test to the season, but we might finally be getting rid of Eric Dier. It's crazy to me. And not only are we getting rid of him, but we're flogging him off to somebody who already knows what they're getting into. So, we'll talk about that a little more. But as usual, before that was weird. But before we get to the meat and potatoes of this episode, we're going to start with the usual, a little bit of heat for West Ham. Show me your hand if you're ready. I sure am. Here we go. Hello, it is Call, your host, for Keeper West Ham, the internet's favorite Tottenham game show. Where, as usual, you are presented with 2 Spurs players. You must do your part to pick one to stay at Spurs and one to go to West Ham. Remember, players in their peaks, and not only just think, if one of these players is going to West Ham, we're helping West Ham, and I'm sorry I'm making you do this, but it is that time. Hey, we have our new friend here. Hi, how are you doing? Nice to have you. I'm glad you dropped in. It's very nice to see you. Super nice to see you. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully, it is a great day where you are in the world, my friend. Hopefully, the day is going great for you. And you just showed up in time for Keeper West Ham. So great. Perfect. Really excited to have you here. Thank you so much. So we've got 2 relatively easy choices today, but let's see what you guys think. Let's see how you do. First one, Mickey van de Ven versus Kevin Wimmer. Kevin Wimmer is a player that I forgot existed, but just like Davinson Sanchez, he had one really, really good half season. It was when he was paired with, I want to say, Toby Alderweireld, while Vertonghen had an injury. I might have that completely backwards, but he looked sweet for that half season or so that he started for us. Looked great, and then just kind of fell off. He was known for being Sonny's best friend. They both came from the Bundesliga. They both shared the German language and could communicate, and they became fast friends. So that's what he became best remembered for. And then obviously we have Mickey van de Ven, a player who is just beginning his journey with Spurs, but looks to have a very high ceiling. All right, gang, you do your thing. Keep or West Ham. Who stays, who goes, and why? And do you have any things that you remember fondly about Wimmer? Chris Peters, of course, keep VDV. He's hit the ground running. Agreed 100%. He really has. We were talking about this on the stream I was just on. Kate, just a girl who loves Spurs. Check her out if you have not. But yeah, we were talking. He might be the best defender at the club right now. And I know that's kind of a controversial statement, what with, Mr. Romero. But I think, I don't know, VDV's just got this calmness about him. They likened him to like a Vertonghen, and I think that that's a pretty good comparison. He's so calm, makes so few mistakes. What he does have that Vertonghen didn't have is that pace to make up for the mistakes if any are made. And he is a young guy. He will be making a couple mistakes. We can't crucify him if that does happen. But we do know that he's got the pace to get himself out of trouble. It's great. So Taylor, what's up, Taylor? Not sure I've seen you in the chat. Taylor says, big up the chat. Big up yourself, Taylor. Taylor, right now we're playing a quick game of what I call Keeper West Ham. I present you with 2 Tottenham players. In this case, former and current. You have to choose who you would keep and who you would send to stinky West Ham, my least favorite team in the Prem. So far, though, we've got Chris Peters saying, of course, keep VDV. He's hit the ground running. Kevin Wimmer never really got up to speed, never really lived up to his potential. I mean, he ended up going to Stoke. I think we got somewhere around 13, 14 mil for him, which was a great deal at the time. But yeah, so that one might have been a little bit too easy, you guys. I just like to start the day out with an easy one. I know we're tired, we're sleepy. So we'll start the day out with an easy one. But let's move on to one that I believe might be a bit more difficult. We've done defenders, so let's move our way back on the pitch to goalkeepers. Wait, really quick. Please keep Van de Ven. Because of him, we don't have to see many of Dier's mistakes. 100%. And after this January, we might never have to see a Dier mistake again. And we will get to that. But good call. Yes, I would keep Van de Ven as well for this exact reason. And Taylor agrees. Definitely keep VDV. Yeah, Wimmer was cool, and I think he got a little more hate than he deserved, but he just wasn't, Tottenham class, really. He was a fine backup, but I think he still, if he could come in at that same level, he would still be a good backup. But yeah, he just wasn't, at the same level as the defenders we have now, and that's okay. He did great when he was called upon, sometimes kind of. And thank you, Kevin Vimmer. We appreciate you. But off to West Ham you go. We are keeping Van de Ven. So more conversation going on in the chat. Love to see it. Love to see it. So the next one, guys, like I said, we've done defender. We're moving back to goalkeeper. We've got Hugo Lloris versus Ian Walker. Do your worst. Tell me what you got, guys. Again, I've got some things to say here. But again, this is a time where I could use some people to maybe educate me a bit. If Adrian is still in the house, Chris Peters, if you're still in the house, Ian Walker, you hear great things about the guy. And I know that he came through pretty young. But I don't know much about the way that he left the club. If it was like amicable, if everything went well, if he, just got replaced by a better keeper, what happened. But we all know Hugo Lloris, our hero between the sticks for many seasons. Obviously, age is catching up to the man now. He's pushing 40 and isn't quite the keeper he once was. But I still would say I think he's our second best keeper at the moment. And if it came down to needing a backup, he would be who I would pick. So just want some opinions, you guys. See what you got here. And I see they're pouring in. NA Beer Talk, what is up? Good to have you here, my man. It's a little earlier today. I didn't know if I would see you, but I am so glad you're here. Keep Lloris. Can you tell me a bit about Ian Walker? It's kind of embarrassing that I put somebody on here I don't know enough about, but yeah, if you could kind of just educate me a tiny bit. I think he came up through did he come up through the academy? Am I crazy? All I know is that he started very young with us, and I know that we had another established keeper at the time, but I'm struggling to remember who it was. Again, everybody, I keep seeing some more people pop in. Welcome. You have made it just in time for the end of Keeper West Ham. And we're talking about Hugo Lloris versus Ian Walker. We've already got one vote for Hugo Lloris. Let's see what we've got now. 8 a.m., bro. Don't you sleep? Never. I actually hate sleeping, but that's a whole other conversation. I'm afraid. I have a fear of sleep. I'm not even sure that's a real thing, but anybody could get you. You're vulnerable when you're asleep. Not a fan of that. That's why I keep these handy. But yeah, man, not sleepy here. I was, but how can you be sleepy jamming out to this? And also knowing that Mourinho wants Eric Dier at Roma. All right, but everybody, don't forget to get your votes in. We've got 2 votes, or a vote. Ian Walker versus Hugo Lloris. I mean, let's keep Hugo. Come on, be real. But yeah, I'd like to see. Hugo has kind of been ever present for us. He, came in while he was young. He grew as a player while the team was growing. It was perfect. I think it was a perfect match. He got to come in and grow with us. So, Lloris can't remember much of Walker. It was the 90s, a mad time in my life. Yeah, the 90s was crazy. Especially for some people. So real quick, I'm a bit confused. Ian Walker is inexperienced. Haven't heard much about him. Lloris is finished at the top level, but good for the changing room to be around the young players and guide them. Boom. I think that's a great answer here. And supposedly that's what he's been doing. Even though he hasn't, been playing, he didn't get his move away during the summer. I've heard that he's been a great mentor, great person for Vicario to learn off of, and that's wonderful. Keep him around, I'd say, the rest of the season just for that, if he's willing. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves in January, though, just because he's not getting any younger. He wants to, have more playing time in his career, and he's also looking for, another team to pay him some wages. So I wouldn't be surprised if Hugo leaves in Jan. But yeah, no, I love what he's doing. And you being a bit confused isn't that out of the realm of things, out of the scope of possibilities, because that was kind of a silly comparison here. But it looks like Hugo has won. It is unanimous. And guys, that is Keeper West Ham. Thank you for playing. We'll have another one tomorrow. I'm keeping them short. It used to be 3 players. I think I like this 2-player model better. Sometimes the comparisons are much harder. For example, I'll just show you some ones we've had in the past. We've had Lamella versus Clint Dempsey. We have had Andros Townsend versus Brian Hill. We've had Ben Davies versus Benoit Suakato. We have had Gomez versus Brad Friedel. We've had a lot, and we do this every day at the beginning of the show. So if you see this, if you like this so far, please tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Talking Ball is a fixture around here. Or not Talking Ball, that's the channel. Keeper West Ham is a fixture around here. It is early. It is early, NA Beer Talk. I can't speak, apparently. But anyway, so let me get this killed here. That's the end of Keeper West Ham, you guys. Thanks for playing. Thanks for being here. Truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. So if you've seen the thumbnail, if you have been paying attention to the show thus far, nope, day's already started. No more bed. No more bed. But yeah, so if you've seen the thumbnail, you probably know there is a dodgy source, but I am taking it as gospel, that says that Mourinho wants Dier at Roma. And if you think about it, it's not a rumor that makes no sense at all. I mean, it definitely makes some sense to me, especially when you consider, Mourinho was a fan of Dier's before Dier even, before Mourinho even came to Spurs. He wanted Dier at United, if the rumors are to be believed. And so that is cool. That makes me think this is definitely a plausible rumor. I put up some photos of the two of them, but they do seem to get along very well. They've got this sort of mentor-mentee kind of relationship here. It seems like, Dier really respects Mourinho, and I know a lot of players do. It'll be good. I think if they do meet back up, it'll be good for them both. I have here Roma's current center backs, and we know that Endick is a good player. They've got Chris Smalling, who surprisingly, left England, went to Italy, performed very well, very admirably there. I kind of see, he's 33, as you see there. He's aging, obviously. And so I kind of see Dier coming in to replace Chris Smalling. I mean, if you put them both at the back, that might be the ultimate deep-lying defense. But I think I see Dier coming in to replace Smalling. A lot of their other defenders, especially their better ones, are younger. So I think Dier is meant to come in kind of as a, like a old head, like somebody to kind of lead. While we give Dier tons of crap for not being good enough for Spurs, I don't think that Dier is completely past it. I would have thought Dier would want to go back to Portugal. Yeah, that's a good one. And we'll find out January, I guess. If he leaves in January, he won't have nearly as many options as if he goes at the end of the season. But yeah, after that soda's finished, you probably won't be asleep for a while. Even if you wanted to, just rest for a bit. Your body won't allow it because of the soda in you kicking in your body. Yeah, you're 100% right, Taylor. No more sleep for me, not for a while at least. But it's good stuff, you guys. Caffeine is actually good for you. There's been some studies. Some caffeine in your life is good. Maybe not this much, but just don't tell anybody. We're fine. But yeah, good to have you here again, Taylor. Just wanted to say big up. Thanks for being here. Truly, truly appreciate you. And again, guys, coming at you. No cap, all baldness. It's just all natural. Be proud of your body. Bald is beautiful. So if any of you guys are bald out there, no reason to hide it. We'll just show everybody. So yeah, back to Dier though. What do you think? Do you guys think that if he went back to Italy, he would kind of have a little resurgence of his career? I think that he definitely would. Like I was saying, we give him a ton of crap for not being good enough for Spurs. And that's fine. He isn't good enough for a top 6 Premier League team. He was once, he no longer is, and that's fine. But I think that Italy, the style of play, the speed of play. It just suits him much, much better than our current tactics for sure. The glasses were your trademark. I liked them. Well, hey, that's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. Boom. And now we're back with the glasses. I'm grateful to be here. Dier is just a looker. Dier looks tired. Yeah, he does all the time. And he's always got his arms behind his back. He's always, I get that. You don't want to get a handball in the box, especially after what happened to Moussa Sissoko in the Champions League final. But I don't know. I just wish Dier would do more, but that's okay. Like I said, he's limited, and that is fine. I really do think going back to Italy, going back to play for Mourinho, who plays with a low block, playing against Italy is just it's slower paced over there. It really is. And so I think Dier could go and really make a difference for that Roma squad. Again, I can show you again their defenders, but I think he walks right into that team, probably takes Chris Smalling's spot, as Smalling is a starter when he's fit. Chris Peters says, got our Colin back. Yes, absolutely. I'm here. I am back. The shades are back on, and I feel better. With them. I don't know what that is. There's something about them. There must be magic in these here shades. But yes, so you guys, are you happy to see Dier go? Do you think he'll go in January? Is this just I think it was Tutto Mercato Sport, or something dodgy like that. Do you think that there are any truths to this rumor? It would be very easy for a journalist to make up. Like I said, Mourinho wanted Dier at United. He came to Spurs, played him in like every single match, and now wants him at Roma. Like, I could see this being just an easy story for a journalist, but I honestly think it just makes so much sense. Isn't Dier too slow for Italian football? Great question, but I actually think that it would suit him to a T. Like, I think it would be perfect for him. He has lost a yard of pace. Words are hard, and Italian football is just notoriously a bit slower, a bit more thought out. It's a bit more of a defensive league, and I think that would really suit him. Taylor, though, says, think he needs to switch his game up, get a new haircut, try a new hobby or something, try to speak a new language, maybe will boost his confidence. That's funny that you say that. Doesn't he speak like 6 languages? I know he does. Spanish, English, Portuguese, and I know there's got to be more. Languages he speaks. Bobby K says, big up, buddy, on Ben. So just wanted to pop in and say hi and hit the like button. That is a true friend right there, ladies and gentlemen. Bobby K, a real man, a real gentleman, came in here just to hit the like and show some love. If you're here, please hit the like. It doesn't cost $1, but it just makes me so happy, and helps the channel to grow. And that's what we all want. We want a chat full of friends. We want, a party atmosphere in here, and we're building that. And I think it's going great. But it would totally help if you hit that like. We got some more peeps up in here. So thank you, Bobby K. You are, like I said, a real one. But guys, back to Dier. We've bitched and complained and cried about him. And if we see him in the squad one more time, I'm gonna. We're finally gonna maybe get rid of him. And I don't feel like anybody is nearly excited enough about it. Is it just because y'all don't believe the rumor? I could see that. But this is definitely something to be excited about, everybody. NA Beer Talk says that Dier would just be a big body to make up that bus that Jose will be parking. Yeah, but that's fine. I think that'll work perfect. I think Dier is a better defender than Smalling. And, we've seen how well Smalling's done in that Roma squad. So, I don't know, guys. I think this one's happening. I really do. Yes, Beer Talk's got the jokes, and that's why I'm glad that he is here. Thank you again for showing up today. Eltel! This is my man, Jose, not Jose. Jose He runs a channel called LTL Cockerel, but he says, Colin, keep smashing it, brother. You keep smashing it, brother. You're the man. It's very, very good to see you. Hopefully work is being nice to you today, and they aren't beating you up like they have been the past week or so. This man works hard, everybody, but he still makes time to come in here also. Thank you, sir. Oh my God, Audio Artisan. Talk about somebody I haven't seen in a long time. Good afternoon, Keeper Wet Spam, Casey Keller or Brad Friedel. Casey Keller. But that's me. What do you have to say, Audio Artisan? I know Brad Friedel. That's really tough. And you had to choose the two bald American keepers that, tough, very tough. But Jose in the house, big up, says Chris Peters. Chris Peters, you are like my resident hype man. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you big time. But Audio Artisan, you're the one that asked, so now I need your answer, bub. Who are you keeping? Brad Friedel versus Casey Keller. And I'll throw this out to the chat as well, you guys. My boy Audio Artisan here with a great keeper West Ham option. Casey Keller versus Brad Friedel, battle of the bald American goalkeepers. Audio Artisan says he's keeping Brad Friedel. Big Brad Friedel. I might keep Brad just because I like listening to him talk. That accent that he has kind of cultivated over years of living in different places is just special on the ears. Something I've like never heard before. He's got the weirdest mix of, like a Boston accent mixed with like an English accent. Eltel Jose agrees he's keeping Big Brad. Taylor says that it's the backup center backs are in the team and Van de Ven and Romero are injured. Who will step in of quality or someone who can trust to fill in while the starters are out? Good question. No, 100%. That's a great question. And if we get rid of Dier in January, like I'm proposing and pushing for, we'll definitely need to bring somebody in. Remember, though, we did pick up Ashley Phillips, and we also have Alfie Dorrington in the squad, youth player, that is supposedly, making a name for himself, really, really starting to, pop off. So there's a chance that one of those two could do it. And I actually was going to talk about that as well. Will Dorrington or Phillips make the step up? Yeah, I'll be totally honest that I don't watch enough U23 ball to know enough about Dorrington to be, to say anything of substance. Phillips too, for that matter. I know Phillips is a big boy. I know that's going to help. In the Premier League, it's a physical league. It's a fast league. Being big and strong obviously is it's a help. So I right there, I would say Phillips, and he's also gotten, first team football at his old club. What do you guys think, though? That is a great question. Great question by Taylor. Who do you guys think will make up, the difference? Who do you guys think will step in if either Van de Ven or Romero goes out injured? That's a good one. I think that until he leaves, I think we probably see Dier in there. But that's just me. It's really, really, really tough to say. Eltel says, well done, Colin. 5 new subs for you since yesterday. I didn't even notice. That's awesome. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed. Truly appreciate you. Really big time. You guys are legends. I appreciate you guys, all of you. And then Chris Peters was telling Jose, Dier to Italy with Mourinho. Yeah, so those are the rumors that you've missed, Jose. What do you think about it? It's from a source that's, I wouldn't exactly call reliable, but it makes sense. Mourinho wanted Dier at United. Dier wanted to go. Mourinho came here. He played the heck out of Dier. They seem to get along great. Even as evidenced by some of these photos here. Look at that fist bump. Those guys love each other. Anyway, yeah, so the rumors are that Mourinho wants him at Roma, and I think it would be a great fit for him. I think it would show everybody that while he isn't good enough for Spurs. He isn't good enough for a top 6 Premier League squad, that he could still do it in a top league. I think that, I think that he is, I think he's good enough to play in Italy, but I could definitely be proven wrong. I'm down to be proven wrong. I love being proven wrong. NA Beer Talk, though, says we really need another quality fullback and another experienced center back. So fullback-wise, I guess like left back maybe, because, we pretty much just have Destiny and the man, Ben Davis. What are you talking about? We're not lacking in fullbacks. Ben Davies is here. This Ben Davies. No, but you're right. I agree completely. On the right side, we're looking better, though. We've got Poro, we've got Royale. I think that's good. Speaking of Royale, I saw this picture and thought it was hilarious and just wanted to show you guys. But it looks like they were. This is really hard to see. It's smaller than I thought. Playing ping pong, the net broke and they made one out of flip flops. Love it. Love the ingenuity. And when you think about it, that is probably the most expensive ping pong net they could make. While I'm showing random pics, what do you guys think of this fake kit I found the other day? Is it bad that I would totally wear this? I love it. Love it. I would wear that out. I'd wear it to a Spurs match even. It's so bad. It's great. But anyway, you guys, back to the Dier rumors, especially at El Tel. He says though both youngins will make the step up in time. But who do you think will make the step up first is the thing. Like if we were to have an injury, have you seen enough of either of them to say who you would rather have in, Jose? Just a question. And then you said I'll pay for his flight and get him a cab to the airport and even throw in some munch. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. I think everybody is too hard on Dier. Like I said, he's not good enough for us anymore, and that's okay. But I do think that he will do a good job. So Chris Peters, though, says Phillips has been on the bench, so that's good for him. So it's it's a push in the right direction. It's maybe a sign that he will be the one to step up first, not Dorrington. And it makes sense. I mean, we purchased him. We went out and looked for him. We made sure we got him. So Audio Artisan, though, saying that Dorrington has better on-the-ball ability, but lacks the size and athleticism of Phillips. Both are worthy of opportunities, though, compared to what Dier offers. Dang, harsh but true. Dier doesn't offer much for us anymore. That is 100% correct. And that's really cool. Thank you for the little bit of insight into Dorrington, his abilities, Phillips, his abilities. I kind of a noob when it comes to both, so I truly appreciate that. If we lose one fullback for the season, we are pretty much screwed. On the right side, I think we're okay. I think if we lose Poro, I don't think that obviously Emerson is not as good of a player. He's not as good offensively, but I don't think we're screwed. But again, willing to be proven wrong. Then I guess that does put us in danger of, then him getting injured. Who do we put in if both our right backs get injured? I would too. You're right. It's so bad that it's great. I almost forget what I was talking about. But I think Phillips would get the opportunities first due to his size. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking at as well. I'm excited to see it, and I think we'll see it before long. There's going to be some cup matches coming up. Hopefully Ange takes the FA Cup seriously. I completely think he will. But in early rounds, we could probably get away with subbing one defender, one of our starting defenders out, and I think Phillips might get some minutes there. We got Joe Lombardi. What is up, Joe? Haven't seen you in the chat before, so I just wanted to say thanks. It's good to have you here, my man. We are talking Spurs. We're talking Dier to Roma. But you caught keeper West Ham at the beginning. Nice, man. Ian Walker was also the England's goalkeeper. Led in a goal against Italy. Never the same after that. It's a shame when that happens to players, when something just completely busts their confidence and they're just never the same again. Definitely a shame, but cool. And thank you. I love learning new stuff about players. So Joe, truly big thanks on that one. It's a heart. And speaking of hearts, something else I wanted to throw out there. This was from the other day, and I did not remember to throw it up. Check this out. Let me get this comment out of the way. Sorry, Jill. I'll put you back up, and Banner too. Gosh, I'm really not on my game today, you guys. But this is North London Derby goals. We got Van Persie, we got Bale, and we've got. Why can't I remember his name? Hold on. The French guy. We have 5 goals apiece for all of them, but Sonny at 7. Sonny's not even played his last North London Derby, not even close. He's going to completely eclipse these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if Sonny ends up with 10 or 15 by the time he is finished. Henri, thank you, Chris. It's a tough morning for me. I'm really struggling. Yep, we got it. It's Thierry Henry. Thank you so much. That was an embarrassing one, guys. I am probably not going to go a whole lot longer, but I am going to throw the link in the chat in case anybody wants to come say hi. It has been a rough morning for me, but thank you guys so much for coming to say hi. DT Henry. Yeah, he was quite the player. I hate to say that. It hurts me to say. It was at a time when, Spurs were not great, when they beat us with great regularity, and I'm glad that has started to change. Anybody who wants to come say hi, by the way, that goes out to anybody. Come on in. Speaking of which, it did not take long. We have the one and only Jose in the back room. Should we bring him out? Yeah, let's bring him out. Let's get rid of this, and let's bring in this. What's up, Jose?
Hello, mate.
Hey.
Not much. I've just had a visit from the gas man, so I'm free at the moment, and I put you on notified, but the gas man's only just left. So,
well, hey, no worries. Thanks for popping in, dude. I appreciate it. How's everything going with you?
Not bad. That the keeper West Ham, was it just the goalkeepers you did? Just one?
So I did 2 today.
Okay,
so we did the goalkeepers, and then let me show you the other.
I missed the first one. Then I missed the other one. Then sorry.
Easy, but I liked it because it just got me thinking about Kevin Vimmer.
Oh, come on! This is. I'd send him to Inverness Caledonian Thistle, Vimmer.
Oh man, he wasn't so bad. I forgot
come on! He was shocking.
No, there was a season. I think it was his first season here, and he had to replace. I want to say it was Vertonghen for quite a while. Vertonghen got a pretty serious injury, and he stepped in and did a quite admirable job, in my opinion.
He was shocking. He couldn't move or nothing at all. He was shocking.
Oh man, he really did have one good season. Nobody remembers, but it's okay. No, he's
the only player, Colin, I can recall we've ever made money on, because I think we bought him for 12 and we sold him for 18 to Stoke.
Yeah, I thought it was more like 5 and 13. But anyway, yeah, we made money off them. And
12 and 18. We bought him for 12, sold him for 18 to Stoke.
Stoke got a heck of a defender. No,
yeah, how long did he last at Stoke? How many games did he play at Stoke? He disappeared off the face of the earth as soon as we sold him.
It's because we took him away from his best friend Sonny. As Audio Artisan points out, they were best buds. I think he was worth keeping on the squad just to make Sonny happy. But it's not like Sonny has a hard time making friends. It looks like he's best friends with everybody in the squad now.
With that smiley face all the time. He's always smiling, son. How can you not be his friend?
Yeah, absolutely. And he looks like he's always there for everybody, too. He's always got his arm around somebody. If anybody ever makes a mistake, he's the first one there trying to, cheer him back up to get him, and that's great. We need a player like that. And we're lucky that a player like that is our captain. We had a captain for years, he who must not be named, who I don't think did that as much. Kane didn't seem like the type of player who would come and put his arm around you and say, hey, no worries, keep your head up, you'll get the next one. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Sonny is more of that type of guy. Audio Artisan pointing out that Sonny and Vimmer are still close friends. I knew that they had been very close. Sonny took Vimmer as his +1 to some award ceremony one time, and I thought that was adorable. They were just good buds. I think it was the German thing, the fact that they had both come from the Bundesliga. They both spoke German, and I think that was part of, why they were such good buds. But yeah, they had the bromance going on. It was those two, and then it was Dier and Dele, and it was just bromance city at the club for a while. But Jose, so we're talking real quick about Dier. Apparently Mourinho wants him at Roma. You said you drive him there. You pay the cab fare. You get his ticket. I don't know, but how do you think he would do in Italy? Because we all, I threw up a graphic.
Yeah.
And these are Roma's CBs at the moment. Let me get Audio Artisans comment off there just for a sec. But so it's not like they're. I mean, Ndicka's a good defender. He's only 24. They've got Chris Smalling though, who plays a lot for them. He's 33. I could kind of see Dier coming in and taking Smalling's spot. Do you think that he could step in and do a job? I think that Italy is definitely still his level. I think he's at that level still.
I don't hate on Dier, and that's the reason why I said, tongue in cheek, that I would pay for his flight, take him to the airport, and offer him munch. So I'm not just carting him off. I'm giving him the works.
You're getting them snacks too. Yeah, exactly.
I'm giving him the works because I don't hate on Dier. I just think he's overstayed, and he's become stale at the club, and we need new blood. We need freshness about us. So therefore, it would be better for both if he did leave. It'd be better for him to get first team football again somewhere, and it'd be better for us so we can move on. But like I said, I don't hate on him. Now, him going to Italy, the game is not as quick as here.
100%.
However, in Italy, they're famed for their defences. The Italians have always been famed for their defences rather than their attacks. And I'm afraid to say, in Italy, you got to tackle. Doesn't matter where you go. As a defender, you have to put tackles in.
Well, you can't just do this the whole time.
Yeah.
You can't just.
So I'm just thinking to myself, unless Mourinho's thought up of a different way of playing football altogether, where your defenders don't need to tackle, then But if Mourinho wants him, I don't know how much truth there is in that. But if Mourinho or anyone wants him for that matter, I would say take him, let him go. But
do we just cut the last 6 months of his contract off and just let him go for free?
I don't think you need to do that because no, if a team really wants him badly in January, right, and they really do need him badly in January, you accept £1 million for him, don't you? You don't have to give loads of money. You accept a nominal fee to get him off the wage structure, because if you let him go and you cut his contract, you still got to pay him 6 months' wages. So a nominal fee, and he goes for a nominal fee, means that you're getting a little bit back. A nominal fee could just be, I don't know how much it is, but let's say 6 months worth of wages for him. If he's on 60,000, if he's on 60,000 a week, let's say for argument's sake, that brings you to 26 weeks is 6 months. So 26 times 60,000. So you're talking about nearly 2 million in wages. If someone pays you that as a nominal fee to take him, then you don't lose out, do you? You actually gain.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
But the other thing, if someone really wants him badly, let him go for a nominal fee in January. If no one wants him then really badly, then I wouldn't cut up his contract, because then you're still paying out £2.5 million on a contract, even if he doesn't play. So I don't know. The club will make the right decision, I hope. But I think, I don't know what's going through Dier's head, but there's what's next year? Is it the European Championships next year?
Yep, correct.
Just the Euros next year. Now, I don't know in his mind whether he thinks he's got an opportunity of getting back in the England squad. If Gareth Southgate is the manager,
not if he's not playing.
Yeah, but hold on. Gareth Southgate's the manager, and what's his name? Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire doesn't play, but he gets into the squad. Jordan Henderson's not playing, but he gets in the squad. So, if he's got any thoughts in his head, any thought process at all that he thinks that he may think he's got a chance, then he's got to start playing football sooner rather than later, hasn't he?
100%. Yeah. He's wasting away. I know that he needs to collect his money. I know he might not get another paycheck of this, size for the rest of his life. This could be his last, big contract.
He won't get
so
a big
he's
contract. He won't get a big contract, Colin, because he's devaluing himself by not playing. Because at the end of the day, where he probably, I don't know, let's say he gets £60,000 a week. I don't know how much he gets. I'm just rumouring £60,000. Well, by him not playing, another club, even if they get him on a free, they're not going to give him 60 grand a week because he hasn't played. He hasn't shown worth for it. So why should someone offer him 60? At the moment, the only thing I think that's happening is being detrimental to himself, because I think whatever move he gets next won't be to this big, massive hoo-ha club that he may think he was going to go to, and he's going to get the salary's going to be nowhere near. He's not going to get any more than what he gets at the moment. If someone does that, then they must have crazy shit in their eyes.
Crazy shit in their eyes. That is the new expression that I'm never going to stop using. Love it. No, but so did Dier, can you remember over the summer, did Dier have any options? Like, did he have offers to go? I can't really think of any. So it's hard for him to leave if there aren't any offers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know. I guess I'm sure that some smaller Premier League clubs would have picked him up and would have taken him.
I think people may have inquired, but the inquiry wasn't strong enough for a bid. So there are inquiries and then there are bids. I don't think there was a out and out bid for him. There may have been inquiries, but then there was talk about Fulham. There was talk about Nottingham Forest and that, but there was no real concrete. Yeah, look, what would you want for him? There was nothing. There's nothing concrete. I think the tentative questioning was, is he available? Does he think that? Do you think he might want to come to us? But no one ever said, look, how much do you want for him or anything like that. It didn't get as far as that, I don't think.
And NA Beer Talk just pointed out too that he is on £85,000 a week.
Okay, so that makes over 3 million comfortably for 6 months.
Yeah, that is not chump change at all, and it makes sense. I mean, he's been here forever, and he's probably gotten some raises in that time. I thought he was more in the 70 range, but dang. Real quick though, Totspurs is here. What is up, Totspurs? Big up. Me and Jose are keeping it. We're holding it down. But Totspurs says, hey, call Jose in chat. Question for you both. From these three choices, what would you do? Keep, bench, sell. Graham Roberts, Ledley King, or Gary Mabbutt. To be honest, I don't know almost a thing about Gary Mabbutt. I am fairly well versed in Graham Roberts and Ledley King. But Jose, I'll let you go first. You're gonna have the more nuanced answer to this question, I think.
I would keep all day long the one-legged king, the one-legged warrior, the one-legged king. I'd keep him all day long.
Oh yeah.
For the bench, am I going to go for culture or am I going to go for an absolute warrior on the pitch?
Warrior, Graham Roberts.
Graham Roberts was a warrior, and do I bench Graham Roberts or Gary Mabbutt was more cultured? I'd probably bench Gary Mabbutt and sell Graham Roberts, although it could have gone either way with them two.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That he gave us. I just wanted to find my Graham Roberts card. Oh, nope, we can't find that, but I do have a Gary Mabbutt card.
Other way around. That's it.
There's the man himself. Shout out again to my father-in-law for finding me these 90s Premier League cards. Appreciate that.
Graham Roberts is still very active on Twitter, and he follows Tottenham, and he's always, and he had quite a good career, Graham Roberts, as a manager, not for non-league clubs. He managed a lot of good non-league sides, and he did a lot for a lot of non-league sides as well.
I have a lot of respect for that. That's great. A lot of players, you know what I mean, don't give back to, kind of what helped them get their start and what's helping to keep football alive. These non-league clubs are really important to the whole pyramid of. I've
got friends that have played for Graham Roberts in non-league sides.
No way.
That's awesome. And they're like, yeah, you didn't F about with Graham Roberts is what I used to say.
I believe it. Yeah. That's awesome. I hope he instilled some of that steel that he had into his players. But I'm sure he did. I would love to play for him. Seems like one of those managers he would run through a wall for, like we have with Big Ange. I didn't know if you noticed my kangaroos. I'm trying to embrace the the Australian team. Yeah, they're here, and they're not going anywhere. Yeah, so we got Roberts from a non-league side. That's awesome. That's something else I didn't know. Spurs, thank you for that little tidbit of information here. Real quick, before I lose track of this one, NA Beer Talk says, has anyone seen what's happening with Barcelona? They're in big trouble, big trouble, paying tons of money to the Ref Association. What's up here, Jose? You might know more.
So what it is it's been found that Barcelona were paying a referee. It was one referee, and Barcelona claim that they paid him for his services in the sense of not for rigging games, but they paid him for his services to get information about what referees' thoughts were and to clarify certain things to help them along as a club. However, people are putting this together and saying that what they were basically doing is they were bribing a referee. Okay, if there is any evidence of bribery, which they haven't found yet, but if there's any evidence of bribery, then you then have to look at, did that bribery affect any of their results? So it's going to be a lot longer-winded, a hell of a lot longer-winded. But at the moment, Barcelona, is in their defence, they've come out and said, yeah, we did pay this chap for his services, but it was to do with about the fundamentals of refereeing and to explain certain things and how referees would view and what their thoughts are on certain things. However, some people are saying, nah, that's a load of crap. But
yeah, me too.
There has to be a whole bigger investigation for you to prove bribery. You have to have evidence, and to that there's gonna have to be a money trial. That you gave them the referee money and that games were converted because of this, because of the actions of a referee.
That's going to be hard to prove without a doubt. I forgot that this is in America and you don't have to prove yourself innocent. You just have to be proven guilty. So yeah, they might get away scot-free, but doesn't it sound, that sounds like a load of shit to me.
It's been going on for about the last 6 months, Beer Talk. It's still going on. You're quite right. It's still going on. I mean, at the end of the day, Barcelona have no money whatsoever. But I tell you what, for a club that has no money, they're being sensible about what they're doing. Because if you look at the players that they've bought in this summer, so this summer they didn't pay a fee for any player. They bought 4 players in. And 2 of the players they bought in, one was João Cancelo on a loan. And the other one was João Felix on a loan. And they've both hit the ground running. And I think they bought somebody else in on a loan. And somebody else they bought in on a free because they've got no money. But I don't care who you are. João Cancelo is a world-class right back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And
with
they've
100%.
got him on loan. And João Felix can be an absolute world superstar. He's only 23. And they've got him in on loan.
People
as well.
forget how young he is. Wow, he's only 23 years old. I thought he was older than that. Okay.
Yeah, they bought players in on loan, so they're in trouble. Barcelona, not just about this referee stuff. They're in trouble with other things, with their finances and that. But they seem to figure out a way of doing things and doing deals that doesn't cost them any money.
So back to Barcelona, real quick though. I mean, I'm not back to them; we're still on them. But you said that that they're saying that we were just getting referees' opinions. We just wanted to know the consensus about things and get a referee's point of view. That sounds an awfully lot like, oh, Mom, it's not my beer. I'm just holding it for Eric down the road. You know what I mean? It just. I think they were caught with their hands in their pants and they don't know what this is their excuse. I don't know.
But whether the referee, I don't even know whether the referee that they approached. I don't even know whether he was still reffing matches. Do you see what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's hard because all we're doing is speculating, and I'm giving 2 sides to a story from what Barcelona are saying as a club, and then what the state is saying that needs to happen in order to prove bribery. Now, at the end of the day, it's speculation because some people are saying that they're this way and some people will sit on the fence that way. From what I've heard, and it's only what I've heard, and from what I've read, and from what I've heard from people in Spain. It's an accusation that's been made where people are trying to say they're trying to join the dots straight away without any investigation work. So they're putting two and two together straight away and coming up with 8 straight away by saying, yeah, they bribed referees, blah blah blah. But there's a lot more to it than that. An investigation will show if they can find a trail. It's quite clear. If they find a trail, then and they can prove that Barcelona are guilty of what they believe they're guilty of doing, then fine. But at the moment, there's no trail there whatsoever. So, you know.
And if it's been going on 6 months, you'd think they would have unearthed that. You know what I mean?
This first came out 6 months ago, but this happened a few years ago. Apparently, it stopped, but it happened a few years ago. But it's only come to light in the last 6 months.
Gotcha. Okay, well, enough Barca. You know, love them. Fun team to watch. But they're not our Spurs. So Jose, you weren't here yesterday. I ran completely solo yesterday, and I just wanted to get your opinion. I threw up a couple of quotes that were from Big Ange. I actually have since deleted them. That was stupid. But I was just gonna say he basically said, he came out and said his second year at Celtic. He said, hey, last year we came out in January and we fought early, and that helped us as a squad. That helped us.
Can I say, Colin? Yeah, can I say, Colin? I saw that comment yesterday, right? And obviously I tuned in because I was working, so I tuned in. I saw that comment, but I didn't know what it referred to. When I first read that comment, I thought to myself, but we didn't do our business early in January. Last year, Tottenham bought one player in January, and that player was Pedro Porro, and that took the whole month to buy him. We bid for him on the 1st of January. We didn't get him until the last day of the window. So I'm thinking to myself, where's Colin's comment coming from? Because we only bought one player. Now that you've put some text behind it, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize probably how confusing that was. But no, so he was a Celtic when he was speaking about this, but just it kind of spoke volumes to me. He just mentioned how important that was come the end of the season. And this season, when we are short, we are light in a lot of areas. I think it's another one where we're going to have to. I know that January historically is a window where it's hard to get players, especially quality players. But then another one of Postecoglou's comments.
Why is it? Sorry, Colin. Can I just ask you why is it hard?
Because if a player's good,
yeah,
a team wouldn't want to let them go because they're helping the team.
But if you pay what the club believes that player is worth, in order to take him off their hands, then the player comes.
True, but I guess the value goes up in January because then they need replaced in January. You know what I mean?
But if you believe in this player, I'm going to play devil. Sorry, Colin. If you believe in this player, right, Colin, you want to buy, let's say, who's a player that you like? Tell me a player you like that you'd like to buy. They can play anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world.
I've been getting into. Yeah.
Okay, right. So you like Kubo, right? Kubo plays for Sociedad, I think.
I thought it was Mallorca.
Okay, one of them. I know that he was at Real Madrid. Okay, so he plays for one of the Spanish clubs. So that Spanish club, they don't want to let him go, and they're going to value him. Without you making an offer, he's valued at 20 million, right? Let's say he's valued at 20 million. Then what you're going to do is you're going to approach the club and you're going to say, we really want him. But no, we don't want to sell him. Okay, so then it comes to the buying club, let's say Tottenham in this instance. If Postecoglou believes in him, right, and he believes that he's a player that will fit the system, he's a player that he can grow, nurture, coach, and become a better player, then you think to yourself, right, if they don't want to sell him for 20, let's say we sell him for 30, we'll accept 30 for him, then Tottenham's belief is, Tottenham have then got to say, right, they'll sell him if we pay 30 for him. That might be over what he's worth at the moment, but it will be under what we think he'll be worth in 2 or 3 years' time. Once he's got in our team, once we've coached him and all that, he could be worth 60 million. So therefore, you take that risk because you think that you're going to make the money in the long run with him. Do you see what I mean? So
absolutely.
People say, the other thing I will say, at the moment, Colin, we're in a really precious moment in time. We have a manager who started really well, who's got a philosophy. We all believe in it. As a club, we're pushing forward. We're going forward. We can all see it. Now, Scott Munn's just come through the door, and he's got rid of Gabbiadini. There's talk about a DOF coming through the door very soon. We don't know who that is yet. Whoever's at the club now must be doing their homework already on players to sign next summer. However, some of these players for next summer may come available in January. Let's say for instance, do you remember we bid for Luis Diaz two years ago?
Yeah, and ended up getting Kulu instead.
Yeah, because we wanted Diaz, but Diaz, we put an offer in for him, but the agent then told Liverpool that we'd gone in for him because Liverpool had him on the radar for a summer raid, and then all Liverpool did is they bid for him and they ended up getting him. Well, something like that could happen to us as well.
Yeah, no, very, very good point. Very good point. I see what you're saying. I was just going to say, it's historically hard to get players from the big leagues, but the cool thing is that we have a manager now who's had a very non-traditional route to his position, which I think is awesome. I'm really big into doing things the non-traditional way. He has scouted some leagues that aren't usually picked up on and touched by Premier League managers. So I think that's going to come and help us. And I hope that he's got a little book of players that he's got in mind that he can present to Levy and the crew and say, hey, these are the guys I want in January. They'll help the team. And they should be easy to get. I think that he'll have done so. He had a quote saying,
right, the quote that you're going to say, I saw that quote yesterday, Colin, but I didn't know what it was in relation to. Now I understand, right?
Yeah.
So the players that you mentioned yesterday, Ito, Kubo, all these players, there's 3 players you mentioned yesterday.
They're big. They're in Europe now.
But now you've put it into context. I understand. Hi, Soren.
Hey, Soren. What's up, man?
So the players. So sorry, just to finish the point. The players that you were referring to yesterday, they've already come to Europe. So now that they've come to Europe, their value won't be the same as when they were first brought to Europe. So what you're hoping is that Postecoglou, Scott Munn, if they know the Asian market, which they should do, if there's any gems there still to get out from Asia, then you need to get them in now and take that punt on them now before they either go somewhere else or their value grows. So if you can get a player in for 5 million rather than paying 25 million, then you do it. But it has to be the right fit and the right profile for the club.
100%. Hey, big up, Soren. Good to have you here, man.
Thanks for the invite.
In the man cave, as usual. God, I love it. Yep. One day I'll have me my own, man. But so we're talking about a lot of things. But first, Soren, I wanted to get your opinion on. I saw a really dodgy rumor, but I'm just taking it to heart that Mourinho wants Dier at Roma. Yeah, exactly. But do you think? Oh, sorry to interrupt. I think Dier could do bits at Roma. I think he could really help their defense. Do you think? I don't think that's.
Yeah, I think it'd suit him over there, to be honest with you. Look, I mean, the lad's taken a lot of stick while he's been playing with us over the last few years. And I do think some of it is unwarranted. Some of it's certainly warranted. I don't think he's as bad as we make out in the sense of it. There is a defender in there, but he's not suited in a sense to the fast pace of the Premiership. I do think Italy would probably be a better place, and you've got, it's a far more defensive style of league. So look, I mean, I presume he's going to go on a free at the end of the season, and good luck to him. He's not been the best, but we signed him, and he's been pretty, he's been there for us in some games, and some games he's been bad. But I wish him luck if he goes, and the sooner the better in a sense. But
for his career too, even just for his career, like Jose and I were talking, he's not doing himself any favors by sitting on the bench, not putting himself in the shop window, nothing like that, not working to get himself back in the England squad.
The downside to it, I suppose, is going back to Italy. Is there going to be the same wages? That's the problem that us as a club have got. This is why we can't shift a lot of our deadwood. Is they're on too much money for what Europe can afford. It's not necessarily that they're on more than they're worth. Europe just haven't got the money to pay them sort of wages anymore.
Yeah, and I kind of think maybe that's why Dier is sitting out these last 6 months or so of his contract to continue to collect on that money, so that whenever he goes and has to take a lower wage next season, it doesn't hurt him as bad. I know that he's set for life already, as most footballers are, as long as you kind of put some money away and you're being at least a tiny bit intelligent with it. But yeah, I think that's probably why he is sticking out his last 6 months at Spurs. He knows he won't make that money at other clubs. But that's no big deal. And I think he's a smart kid. I think he understands. Yeah. And like you said, I think we do give him too much shit. Like, he's not good enough for a top 6 Premier League club, but he's not a fucking shit defender. You know what I mean? Like, he's a pro footballer in the Premier League. You don't make it to that level by being shit.
Exactly. And that's the thing, I mean, he probably is in a club that's maybe above his pay grade in a sense, but he's certainly, to me, a mid-table sort of team type defender. And there's a few Premiership teams and certainly ones in Europe that, to me, he would do very well at. And the thing is with him, look, his defending can be decent. The problem is he switches off far too many times in the match, and when he hasn't got the pace and he hasn't got quite the intelligence to be the main defender in a back 2 or a back 3, whichever way, or a back 4, should I say. And that's the problem, that you can't rely on him being the main source. You've got to have somebody better than him stood next to him in a team like Tottenham. But you put him in Nottingham Forest or something like that, it'd be a good player.
Bournemouth. I think he'd be good at Bournemouth too.
I mean, plenty of teams in the Premiership would suit him, just not ours.
Yeah, I can't get past Soren, the no tackling.
Yeah,
I can't get past it. To me, in the Premier League.
Yeah, but he never used to be like that, did he? If you go back a few seasons, it's since all this stupid handball and you can't. I mean, you just the art of football has gone, and you look at it and you think you can't put a tackle in anymore. You can't, if it hits your hand in any stupid form, it's handball. So what are these players in a sense supposed to do? If his hand's sort of slightly out, it's handball. So he's putting his hands behind his back. He's probably been told to do that.
But that's when he's defending a shot, Soren. I'm talking about when someone's attacking him. When someone's attacking him, okay, there's time when you have to jockey a player. You show him inside, you show him outside, you jockey the player. But there's times
that's all he does.
There's times that you've got to put a tackle in, and he just doesn't put the tackle in anymore. I don't know why he doesn't do it. But in the Premiership, I mean, you look at Italy. Okay, it's extreme. I'm going to say Franco Baresi. Franco Baresi played as a libero or a sweeper, but Franco Baresi, he would put a tackle in. If he had to put a tackle in, he would. Not very often, but in a game he would put 1 or 2 tackles in. He didn't have to tackle because he was that good, but he would still put a tackle in. So I can't understand why Dier just won't put a tackle in.
But do you think it's? I mean, and I know it's excuse after excuse with some of our players, but do you think it's just the fact that they've got no confidence in what they're doing anymore?
Yes.
If you look at under Conte and under Mourinho a little bit, but more Conte especially, there isn't a player that had confidence other than Kane in our team, and everybody's game suffered. And the amount of mistake. I mean, look at Kuti last year. I mean, he was dreadful in some games. This year, he's been pretty solid. It's the Kuti we expect. And you look at Bissouma and players like that. Last year, they couldn't do anything. This year, all of a sudden, Bissouma's one of the best in the league, if not the best. And this is what I just wonder in the way they've been managed over the last 4 years. I mean, you go back with Dier under Pochettino. Yes, he was playing midfield a little bit more, but he was a wanted guy. Teams wanted him because he was playing so well. then he plays under Mourinho, Nuno, and Conte, and same as every other player in our squad, the confidence
quality drops.
Yeah, everything's just gone wrong for him, and you know, whether we blame the player for that or not, or say he's not good enough, you know, I don't know what to say, but to me, there is a fundamental problem over the last 2 or 3 seasons with every single one of our players. It's not just Dier, you know.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a confidence thing?
Yeah.
What's this that Audio Artisan's talking about? The Andy Carroll incident? Why don't I remember that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember. Hey, Audio Artisan, my man, let us know some more deets on that.
We should kind of know because he didn't play many matches, Andy Carroll, did he? So,
right. No, he did not. But I always will remember that transfer fee. I don't know. Let us know. I don't know if did Dier get fouled hard? I'm not really sure. Or gave away a handball maybe.
But no, it's got to be something to do with a tackle, probably cross-ball header or something like that, because Carroll was a beast in the air, weren't he? So,
yeah,
oh my
God,
Carroll was. That's.
I'm trying to think of. I suppose it depends when it was we played them, Newcastle or
Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Tottenham where Dier gave away a penalty.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's incidents like that, and I mean, you know, I'm thinking sort of the one in the Champions League final with Sissoko, was it? Where, you know, it's just stupid little things like that, and you know, you look at the one at the weekend with Kuti, and you just look at it and. You just don't know what's a handball anymore. That's the problem. I mean, yes, that was ball to hand and it was going in and things like that. But, you know, we look at some of the decisions in the past and they have been absolutely dreadful. So, yeah, I mean, it could be that one against Newcastle. Yeah. You know, it plays in your mind. It's got to do. And if you come off and your manager's maybe not having a go at you, but, you know, look, we've got to make sure your hands are nowhere near, and that's when he starts putting his hands behind his back. All of a sudden, that becomes the normal way to play. But like you say, you know, how often does he ever tackle? That's the problem.
And because I see a lot of players now, and it's not just at Tottenham. Tottenham is magnified for me because I support the team, so I watch the team.
Yeah.
And yes, we're quite right. They all go into a barrel shape, arms behind their back, in a barrel shape when someone's taking a shot in order not to handball it.
Yeah.
But in saying that, there are other teams that they do the barrel shape as well. I call it the barrel shape. They do the barrel shape as well. But players actually tackle. I just don't see him tackling. And I'm just wondering.
He used to.
But if you watch, Kuti has his hands behind his back a lot of times now as well.
All of them do it.
They all do. So
they all do it.
This is what the Premier League have brought in through their rules. You know, that's why players are doing it. Now, the problem is, Dier's hands seem to be glued together, so they're permanently behind his back. So
I'm just talking about the tackle, though. The tackle, people go into barrel shapes for shots, but defenders still tackle. He just has stopped tackling, and it could well be what you're saying. It's a confidence thing. I don't know, but for the last 4 years, I don't remember him putting a tackle in for the last 4 years. He may have put a tackle in when he played in midfield for Pochettino, but since he's gone to centre half. When he played under Mourinho in a back three, I don't recall him making tackles.
I mean, he obviously made a couple, but like you say, they're very vague. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those where you just look at it and think, look, we know he's not up to the standard to play in our team anymore, especially now. You know, he hasn't got the legs to do it. And to me, this is the time he moves on. And if he's holding out for his payday, well, you know, he's got every right to do that. And I don't agree with it, but I don't disagree with it. You know, he's looking out for himself and his family. As fans, we look at that being greedy, maybe, but that's up to him.
We have our South Korean friend here in the chat and saying for Dier, maybe the Saudi league could be the best, one of the best choices for him. And I think that's a player they could go after. I know that he's not like a huge name, but he's definitely a name that people know. He's, played at a top 6 Premier League club for years and years. They're trying to get that pull. I mean, I think that he could be somebody that they go after. So that wouldn't surprise me, and he would absolutely rip it up there. I think he would do great in the Saudi league, of course. I mean, it's not exactly a top league, at least not at the moment.
The thing is with the Saudi league, though, you look at some of the players that have gone. There are some big names going now.
There's some tasty boys over there now.
And the thing is, it's not it's not as high quality maybe as the Premiership, but every team is trying to win. You know, they're not. You know, it's not a league where you seem to have teams that are just sitting back and getting thrashed. They all want to win. They all want to be the big boy.
There's crazy score lines, isn't there, Soren, out there? 4-3s, 5-4s. There's all.
It could be even worse if Dier goes.
Oh man. If Dier can't defend in that league, then maybe he really should just call it a day and hang his boots up.
I think, like you say, though, Italy or Germany would suit him.
Yeah, Germany might be a bit too fast for him, I think, personally. But I think Italy or Spain, even. I think in Spain he could do a job. But maybe But that would be where Jose would chime in, because you know a lot more about
if he doesn't put a tackle in Spain, he'll get skinned alive. Some of the clubs have got pacey forwards and pacey wingers in Spain that if he doesn't put a tackle in, he'll get skinned alive.
But do you guys remember he used to put in a tackle?
Yeah, Italy's a lot slower paced, like I said earlier. But Italy have been renowned for being defensively minded teams. So if you're defensively minded, you need to know how to defend. That's why I was thrown a bit earlier on. I said about going to Roma. I was like, unless Mourinho's changed the way football is now in Italy, he expects his defenders to defend.
Yeah, but if you look at this, I was just going to say, I've got a list here of the center backs for them currently. And none of them. I mean, Chris Smalling plays for them. Do you think Chris Smalling's a better player than Eric Dier? Like,
yeah, he's done well. He's done well in Italy, Chris Smalling. To be fair to him, he's done well.
Yeah, no, he has. It's been a definite resurgence in his career. But I just wonder if Dier could do that same thing. I guess. And we'll never know. Evan
Ndika, he could get into lots of teams.
He's great. And at 24, he's only going to continue to get better. You know,
I mean, it would be a hard line to get into for Dier with that, but it depends. You know what? Llorente and Chris Smalling, depends how much longer they're going to be there. You know, if Chris Smalling's looking to get out, then, you know, this could be his last season. So getting Dier in for next season could be the thing.
It says Diego Llorente centre back there, but I've always thought Diego Llorente was a left back. But I don't know.
To be honest, I just got this off of like FootMob or one of those sites. They could definitely be wrong. Just yanked that off of there.
Soren, because what I said earlier, Soren, is that with Dier, with the wages that he's on, Colin asked me the question, would you just pay him off the rest of his contract in January? And I said no, because it's going to be, you're talking about £3 to £4 million in wages for the last 6 months. And I said the easiest way, and it all depends on what Dier wants to do, because if Dier's got any thoughts in his head, and I'm not inside his head, but if he's got any thoughts in his head that he wants to see if he can make the European Championship squad next year, then he's got to start playing sooner rather than later. So I've said that for Dier, it may be in his interest. If someone came in from and really needed him in January, if they offered a nominal fee, then you'd accept the nominal fee, because that means you get his wages off the books. So say that someone offered you £1 million for him, you let him go, because you're not going to sign him on in the summer. Let him go for £1 million, because then you don't have to pay his wages. But then also as well, what I've said is that with Dier, if Dier's on, someone in the chat put earlier that Dier's on 85 grand a week. Now, if Dier's looking for this big payday that people are talking about, then by not playing football at the moment and not being visual, not being seen out there, then he's devaluing himself in my eyes for when if he does go on a free next summer, he's not going to get 85 grand a week unless someone's got shit in their eyes. He ain't going to get 85 grand a week.
He's on more than 85 grand a week, I'm sure of it. And I would have.
Sorry. Okay, but do you think, Soren, that next summer he's gonna equal the wages he gets at the moment going to another club? Because I don't think he will, because them clubs are not in the pool anymore for him. It's going to be lower level clubs that come in for him.
Yeah, the thing is, I wouldn't pay him off, because why should we? You know, if he wants to go, let him go. Let him go for free. I don't care whether we get a price for him or not. Let him go for free if we've got to. We do not pay him off. If he goes for free, then he agrees that he goes without any payment from us. To me, I would say to him now, look, if you want to go, we'll tear up your contract, but you're going for free. You know, we're not paying you off.
Otherwise, if you start paying off players, it's going to cascade, and we're going to have to pay off a lot of other players. It's just going to become an issue. Yeah.
But, you know, I think, I mean, again, I could be wrong, but I mean, he's had a couple of new contracts and that. So I can't see him only being on 85 grand. I think he'll be on
closer to 100,
30 upwards.
Wow. Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you look at Kane being on 200 and odd when he left, there is no way Dier being here for 10 years and he's probably had 2 or 3 contracts in that time. He's only on 85. I could be totally wrong. But I do not see him being on 85 grand a week.
Yeah, he's definitely. I know that we start players out, a lot of players out around like the 60, 70 million mark.
Yeah, but the notoriously over the years, we haven't been the biggest payers in the Premier League.
No, but I think that's a bit of a sort of wrong information. We haven't given them great basic salaries, but the money's always been built up in bonuses and add-ons and things like that. You know, where people say, oh, we only pay 50, 60 grand, that probably actually comes out at maybe 90 or 100,000. It's, yes, the basic salaries aren't great. And I know there's 1 or 2 things where they say, bonuses have been hard to meet, but you can't tell me that Harry Kane, when he was on before, when he was on, say, 150, was only on 150. They're on more. That's the book price. I think there's a lot of hidden payments behind that. But I mean, the thing with Dier is, he could go now if he turned around and said, right, rip my contract up, and I'm going, but you don't owe me any money. He's going to get a good signing on fee. That he's not going to lose out. So, to me, like you say, I would want to be going and playing, unless he's. He's happy for his career to end now. I would be like you. I'd be thinking, look, I want to go and play for a team. I don't care what team it is. I want to be a starter, and I want to be, in there and earning. But you've got to think as well with Dier. He was one of the leadership people. He's not on 85. I'd be very surprised if he's on 85.
Well, hopefully it's not much more than that. Jesus.
I think it'll be 130 upwards. I mean, you look at Kane and Lloris were on sort of 200 to 250, weren't they?
Man, I forgot Lloris was on that high too, and Lloris isn't even playing ball right now.
Dembele was on a massive wage.
He was our highest earner for a while.
Yeah, and you look at Sonny will be up there. So Dier, what's he been with us? 10 years now?
Yeah.
8, 9, 10 years. So that's at least 2 or 3 contracts. So I would be thinking for somebody like that whose leadership, I'd be thinking 130.
Dang. Well, good thing that he's only got 6 more months on his contract, and maybe he'll be gone in January. We can put that money to a lot better use. Soren, are there any? So we kind of talked about this, but the January transfer window is coming up. We might lose Dier. Are you confident in Dorrington and Ashley Phillips to step up and kind of make up the numbers? Or if we lose Dier, do you think that we have to get another center back in right away?
I think if we lose Dier, if Dier goes in January, then I do think we need another defender. I just don't see us going for another top name first choice defender. That's the problem. Because who's they going to replace for a start? If we're getting a starting one, then it's either replacing Kuti or Van der Ven. If you get somebody at that level, are they going to be happy to sit on the bench? If the problem is we haven't seen Ashley Phillips play yet. I mean, a few of us have seen Dorrington play in other matches and that, but to me, you kind of think, do we want another up-and-coming defender? Well, that kind of then bottlenecks the defenders coming through. So do we buy a more aging defender? And then you think, well, what's the point in buying an aging defender to sit on a bench again? So I really don't know the answer to it. I'd like to see another big name defender coming in, but I just don't see it happening.
And I don't want to see Van der Ven on the bench. You know what I mean? I think that benching him is going to be detrimental to his career.
Yeah.
He's young. He's looking great, getting better every game, in my opinion. And so benching him, I think, would be awful.
This is why when I think, you look back and everybody, when we were all talking about Tapsoba or Van der Ven, and it was like, why can't we buy them both? And you kind of look at it now and you think you can see why it was one or the other. You know, it was is Van der Ven going to be good enough? So far, bloody easily. So to me, you kind of want either somebody as an understudy to them two, which obviously Ashley Phillips, Dorrington, or do we go for that, you know, 28, 29-year-old who's kind of happy to sit on the bench and fill in when we need to? It's a problem, but I do think we definitely need somebody else back there until we see Phillips. I mean, you know, Phillips could come in and he could be easily good enough. But you see, the other thing is we've just signed that, is it Croatian lad? You know, 2 years' time when he comes in, he's supposed to be the bee's knees. So he's looking almost to walk straight into it the way we're talking about him. So what do you sign?
It's a good point. I honestly think we roll the dice on Phillips and Dorrington. I think Phillips, I think someone in the chat said that he's been making the bench, which I have not been noticing, but that's all on me. Just not paying enough attention. But so if he's been making the bench, that shows the manager's got some faith in him. You know, he's there in case something drastic happens.
He was on the bench for the Burnley game.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is with him, we need to, when Postecoglou starts making these subs, you know, 70, 80th minute, we need to see him come on for 5, 10, 15 minutes in a couple of games and just see where he is on. Yeah, I mean, Chris Smalling, good point.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be good. I didn't know, is he out of contract at Roma, or is he close to being out of contract at Roma? Audio artisan, let us know, because that is a good shout. And then Chris Peters says the new guy comes in 2025 when he's 18. That's incredible. I think it's insane that I know he's playing in. God, what league is that? It's
Croatian league, isn't it?
Yeah. But still, the fact that he's in one of the top teams in that league and he's at 16 years old, you know, starting center back,
9 or 11 appearances.
Yeah. I thought he started, but okay, but still.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's made 9, 11, either 11 or 9 appearances in the first team. So, you know, it shows that, you know, that there's something there. But I think it's going to be interesting because obviously he can't come to us now. Whether they'll keep him for the whole time or whether he'll go somewhere else next season, I don't know. That's going to be the interesting one. But, you know, the way everybody's talking about him, then, you know, he's got the potential to be one of the best by the sound of it.
Yeah, I'm really glad we got a hold of him. It seems like we're doing a good job for once, maybe getting some younger players in, looking towards the future, replacing people before it's time to replace them. I think we learned with Jan and Toby when we lost them both in kind of close succession and didn't really have great replacements. I think we learned from our mistake. And that's something that Spurs, we don't always do. The hierarchy at Spurs don't always seem to learn from their mistakes. So if they have learned from this and we are, you know, planning for the future finally, I think that's great. I haven't heard, so we talked about Scott Munn and, you know, his appointment, and then I was told, I think by Jose, that I got a new director of football coming in soon, maybe that there's been rumblings about a new director of football. So maybe, you know, maybe we finally do look to the future, bring in some younger players. I know we have the youth squads playing in a very similar formation and tactics to the, you know, to the team, to the, you know, the men's team. Why can't I think of words today? It's way too early for me right now. But you know, and so that's a great thing. I don't know. I'm excited that it seems like we're finally building towards the future. We've got a beautiful manager and Big Ange to lead us there, and I think there's good things to come. Real quick, audio artisan Smalling's contract expires June 2025. Yikes. Yeah, I'm not sure that we'd get him. I'm not sure they'll let him go. Or he'll want to go even. But that is a good shout. Somebody like that would be perfect. Somebody that's, you know, seen it all, done it all, but is, like you were saying, so we're a little older and maybe happy to sit on the bench.
I mean, that's probably why Tosin didn't want to come to us, because he kind of probably knows that he's not going to be a first choice. And, you know, that's why he probably wants to go to Monaco, because he'll be first choice there. And you look at it and you do think, you know, it's going to take a damn good defender to come in at the moment and replace either Kuti or Van der Ven. So, you know, we're in a position, I suppose the best way would have been to have got that player in at the same time as Van der Ven when nobody knew who would be the starter. So, but yeah, I think there's certainly players out there that we could get in. And like you say, it's exciting seeing what's happening. I mean, you do look at it and think, you know, Scott Munn's made some big decisions so far, getting rid of Gabardini, and obviously that'll mean the end of Paratici and sort of undoing things Paratici's done. You kind of do wonder, you know, is it a good thing to just undo it all, or should we see on? But you know,
it's a good point. And Paratici's brought in some good players. I know that, you know, he's gotten a lot of stick. I know that he's gotten, you know, in some trouble with, you know, his dealings with Juve and his time at Juve. But I mean, Vicario alone, we know that Vicario was a Paratici, you know, signing, and look at what we got with him. We've truly got a gem in Vicario, I think.
The thing is, it's not just Vicario. I mean, you look at it, you know, you look at what him and Gabardini have done, and Udogie, you know, I mean, Kulu, you know, Bentancur, you know, no matter, you know, he's not playing for us, but you know, there is a lot of good things that they've done.
Sarr, Bissouma, Porro, what's his name? Solomon. You just practically the whole squad enough has been brought in under these people in the last.
The thing is, Jose, though, it's not just the signings; it's what they've changed behind the scenes that a lot of us don't really see. This is the difference, that there is a lot of things that have been changed behind the scenes. And as much as we want to say, you know, that Daniel Levy isn't very good and he's made so many mistakes, you start looking at what he has changed the way he's worked over the last few years.
Yeah. Have you guys? Sorry. You and Colin, have you both seen Tottenham away's video?
I have not. What?
Okay. So you'll know Stelios, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Stel's a coach anyway, and he gets invited to the Tottenham academy every year, and they put on a show. They, you know, show you tactics and what they do and stuff like that. And for years and years, Stel's always beating the drum, saying every time I go and I speak to the academy coaches there and that, they said there's no path, because they coach the players to be an individual rather than be part of a team. There's no philosophy. Everyone plays different football. You don't play the same as your first team. And he's been banging this drum for years. Anyway, he went up there on Tuesday night, and he said for the first time ever, rather than sticking a head coach to do the chat, the academy director, Simon Davis, took it on Tuesday. He said he went there and they turned around and they said that since Postecoglou's come in, they now have a philosophy. All their teams, from the young uns to the 21s, all play the same football that the first team play.
Seems such an obvious choice. I mean, why? I wonder why it's taken this long to do that.
But I never used to do this. But he.
Yeah, but they did. The thing is, and he's right. You know, it has been like that. But under Poch, when Poch came in, and I think to a certain extent Redknapp, it was changed to play in the way that they were playing the first team. And then when Poch went and they brought Mourinho in, you've then got a manager that doesn't want the youth. So how do you then
incorporate
say to your youngsters and to your coaches, I want you to coach in the way Mourinho does, when there's no chance of them players getting into the first team? And the thing is, with people like Mourinho and then Conte, you know they're not going to be there for long enough. So how do you implement them players to play in that system when realistically them managers aren't going to be there when them players are ready anyway? And then you've probably got a different style. So as much as I agree with what you've said and what Stel says, and this is not me trying to defend Levy in any way, but I do get the reason the youth was done that way. And that's the reason now we've given Postecoglou a 4-year contract. So there is now time for these players to come in and play that system and learn that system to get into our first team. So as much as Stel is very much right, you know, I'm not saying he's wrong in that sense, but there is reasons behind it. And you can understand how, you know, if you're going to say to your coaches, right, Mourinho's coming, he's going to play a back three, but he's going to play this system and this system, but he's only signed an 18-month contract or a 2-year contract. So by the time your players are ready to come in, Mourinho might not be here. So we're going to change it again in 2 years. So all of a sudden, when you change it again in 2 years, you've got a different style of coach, and then those players learn a wrong system.
Yeah.
So you know.
So what he's done. So sorry, what he's done. He's done two episodes. He did one about the conversations that were held on Tuesday night, and he said that during them conversations, instead of developing youngsters and developing players to be individuals and to be a future Champions League player and stuff like that, what they're now doing is they're now coaching the philosophy to have a team ethic as well as developing the players.
Yeah.
And the team ethic, they've now centering it around having winning mentalities. And he said it's the first time he's heard the academy speak like that in all the years that he's been going down there. Now he's done a second video. He's done a sorry.
Back on that, Jose, quickly. If you look at, if we've been training our youngsters wrong, how is it the under 17s or under 18s just won the league and whatever else with them? So they must have been trained in a sense in a right way for them to go and win the cup and the league, whatever they've just won.
Simon Davis, you've got to remember Simon Davis has been there a year now. He's now been there a year. So therefore, what he's talking about, he brought in with him last year, and that's when our 17s and 18s won it. Now, the second part of the second video that he's done it on the coaches and the academy director went through Ange Ball and the way that Ange plays sets up and that. So he's done a second episode, which is really good, which charts the players' positions, where they are, what they do if people press in a 2, a 3, 4, or a 5-man press against us, and where the ball goes to, and where the players move to, and why the goalkeeper's doing certain things. And it's really interesting to watch. The second episode with all the coaching stuff and all the diagrams, really interesting. It makes people understand. It's an easy
I definitely need to check it out. Yeah,
it's an easy look to
This comes back to Paratici, doesn't it? Setting these, changing the way and the philosophies, that thing. Again, we go back. If you've got somebody like Conte that basically says, "Look, I'm not interested in the youth," what are you supposed to train? How are you supposed to teach them? You teach them kind of the basics to make them better players. So if they haven't got a chance of going into our first team because Conte doesn't want youth players, then you've got to make them so they're sellable. And to make them sellable, you can't make them fantastic in one certain style. You've got to make them kind of good at everything. And you do look at it and you think, well, it hasn't been a good look for our youth because we haven't brought any into our team, but we've had managers over the last 4 or 5 years that wouldn't have played them unless they're as good as Harry Kane. Just look at it this way. Had Conte been in charge, do we think Harry Kane would have been at the club? If he'd have been a youngster, he'd have gone.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the second video is worth a shout. It's interesting to see the formations, the setups, and that. Yeah. And it's a guide, and it tells you what we do when there's a 2, 3, 4, 5-man press, and then how the ball then moves from one end of the pitch to the other, and the rotations that we do. So it's really interesting. It's all mapped out, and that it's really good. It was worth a watch. That's what I'm saying. Worth a watch.
Thanks for that. I appreciate you, man. Big up. And yeah, I'm always interested in tactics. I watch a lot of little videos about, a lot of 8-10 minute videos about Ange Ball, about, the way that he sets up his inverted fullbacks, the way that he kind of overloads the middle of the park and creates these double diamonds. It's really neat stuff. Real quick though, just wanted to kind of go back. Fitzpatrick, my man Johnny Fitzpatrick, he says, is Madison going to be fit for the weekend? And I throw up this banner. Matters and he is fine. Zapor, what's up? Hey, thank you for being here. We got a new subscriber in Zapor. He says, yes, scan was good. And Chris Peters says, great news. So it's looking like he's going to get to start this weekend, which is pretty crazy when you think about this. I have a photo. Your knee is not supposed to go like that. If you look, that is not the way a knee goes.
Times.
Yeah, Soren, you were scared. I think did you think that he had maybe done some damage there?
When you see that picture, that reminds me of how I kind of looked down on my leg one day and mine was doing that. But yeah, the whole lot of my ligaments went that day.
Yeah, you said you've done yours multiple times, right?
Yeah, I've done them. Both legs have been done twice now. Well, my right leg's been done 3 times, but not. First time it was just ACLs, and then it was the whole set of ligaments. So it's horrible. But the fact he got back up, and I know adrenaline does make a big difference, but I know when I did my ligaments, I couldn't stand on my leg. So, you know, when you saw him running around a little bit, it could have made it worse, definitely. You know, to me, if you think you've done your ligaments, you should be off that pitch straight away. It's not worth the risk. But look, if it's fine and it's just a bit sore and things like that, I mean, we all know Maddison's been injury prone, so you know we've got to wrap him up because if he's out of our team, that's the heartbeat of our team gone.
Absolutely, he's the glue that holds it all together. Yeah. So, and I was talking the other day, if he's out, we know he's not now, and that's all good. But if he is out, Soren, I've been posing this question to people, and the general consensus. So I say, who do we put in a spot? The general consensus is you move Kulu there, but I think by doing that, our team just becomes so much worse. Kulu just doesn't have that like drive. Maddison seems like he has always got his head up and is driving us forward, just absolutely just smashing us forward. And I don't think Kulu can do that.
Yeah, to me, I mean, I'm not sure if he's fit yet or not, but I would be putting Lo Celso in there because as much as I think Kulu could play there, it's kind of changing the balance of what we've got. And do you bring Porro up into that spot and then put Royale in the back? That's the possibility.
I also thought about putting Basuma there. I think Basuma could play the 10.
No,
I don't think.
No, Oh, sorry, you mean in Maddison's spot?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, sorry, I meant on the wing. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I think you could move him up into Maddison's spot, and I don't think it would be perfect.
I don't think we move Basuma. I think he stays where he is.
He is very, very good where he is. You're right, 100%. 100%.
To me, I think... Well, I suppose you couldn't whether you bring Højbjerg in, but to me, I would... I mean, I've said about putting Kulu in the middle before, but it just kind of worries me about who you do put on the wing. Now, like I say, if you put Kulu in the middle, I would put Porro on the wing with Royale behind him. But I just don't think Liverpool is the match you play around too much with. That's, you know, this is the game that is going to test us the most. So, what do you think, Jose?
On playing.
Who would you play instead of Maddison if he wasn't fit?
Kulu.
Yeah, and on the wing.
It depends because there's variables. You got variables. Maddison's fit. Maddison will play.
Yeah, but if he wasn't, yeah.
Okay, if he wasn't, then I'm looking at. Okay, if Maddison's not fit, but Brennan Johnson is, then that makes a difference on who you're going to pick. But I'd put Kulusevski in there. It also depends if Lo Celso's fit or not. But I think I'd start Kulu as a safer option than Lo Celso, and then I'd play. Then it's a toss-up. Do you play Son down the middle, or do you sacrifice Son and put him out on the wing, and then play Richie or even Veliz down the middle? The thing is, you've got options. That's the thing.
For the first time in a long time.
Up top, midfield, the top 6 positions, we have options. The place where we don't have options is obviously in defence. The centre halves go. Everyone's saying, well, can Phillips do a job? Can Dorrington do a job? Will Dier get dragged in? We've probably got players for the defence as well, but just that people are not as comfortable in changes in defence as they would be in changes further up the pitch.
Yeah, you see, I personally think you leave Son up front. I would put Solomon on the left, and I would keep Kulu on the right, and I would play Lo Celso in the middle because it's different playing Lo Celso in the middle with only 2 as opposed to 3. Yeah. You know, you've got that extra little bit of support in the middle. So I would change as little as possible by bringing Lo Celso in if he's fit and playing him in that central role
and keeping Kulu where he is.
Kulu outright, because if you bring Kulu in, you're changing Kulu into the middle, but then you're also changing Kulu's position. So that's 2 changes for the sake of 1. Yeah. Now, if Ange Postecoglou thinks that's the better way to go, then obviously that's the way we go. But to me, if Lo Celso's fit, that's his kind of position in a sense. So I would try and keep to. I mean, had it not been Liverpool, then I would have maybe welcomed the change of swapping them over a little bit more. But to me, we've just got to keep everything as a same, so people aren't changing the way they're playing too much.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Sorry,
so,
I got to
yeah,
shoot.
Jose has got to go, everybody. So I just wanted to throw in the comments real quick. Jose, tell us just for 2 seconds. You got a channel. It's in the chat now. Here is the link, everybody. Please go subscribe to Jose. If you are watching this live or on a recording, go to Jose's channel. Go check him out, please. Everybody, throw him a subscribe, like some of his videos, helps the algorithm. So please do that. Jose, I know you got to go. We got the jazz on, which means the show is getting close to the end. But Jose, thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you more than you know. Hope you have a wonderful day, buddy.
And people, keep supporting Colin. Keep throwing your comments. He reads every single one out. He gives everyone an opportunity. He gives everyone an answer to their questions. So keep giving him the love. Colin, I've got to jump. Soren, pleasure to see you again, my friend. And everyone in the chat, take care. Thanks, Fitzy. Thank you.
Later, Jose. Have a good day, bud.
Bye, mate.
All right. So, Soren, we're getting towards the end here.
No problem.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say, so we got Liverpool at the weekend. Assuming that, everybody is fit like we think. I've been asking everybody this through the week too. And I use my same little template here. But so let me find them. Decky versus Brennan Johnson. Who do you start? If you get
is not. That's an easy one.
Kulu. Yep. And then on the left,
Solomon.
Easy. You didn't even have to think about it.
No,
so you say stick with the same.
Yeah, for the simple reason, I think Richie. Look, I want Richie to work so much,
but he's not. He's not going to. I really don't think he will.
He is. He's going to. He's going to work, but we need to keep him as that backup for Son now through the middle. And by playing him left and right, I think it's messing with him too much. To me, you bring him on in place of Son when Son's had it. If we're gonna play Richie plays down the middle and Son goes to the left. But I don't want that. I want Son down the middle.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want Son down the middle. And you're right. There has to be somebody to spell him. He can't play every minute of every game, of course. No. I'm glad that you have faith in Richarlison because I just don't. It's mostly his first touch that puts me off of him.
Yeah, but I think if you look at and I get slaughtered for this, but if we look at how he's not for his last couple of games because we know he's been terrible, but the way Brazil play with him, it's them crosses in, it's giving him no time. It's a shot or it's a header. That's the way you play Richarlison to me. And
it gives us another way to play. You're right. We don't have to play the tiki-taka kind of, quick short passes. We could lump it up to him if we need to. You know what I mean? Bring it down, boom, shot. And we saw a couple options, a couple chances like that in the Arsenal match when he came on late. He got the ball back to goal, tried to turn, have a shot. It was just this wide on the one. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Fitzy says he'd start Johnson on the left, Son in the middle, and Cool on the right if fit.
Yeah, it's all about that hamstring with Johnson. I know it's not a tear or anything. It was a tight muscle or something, but that's because he's just not played enough minutes. To me, I would start Solomon and I would bring Johnson on. The problem with Johnson is, and it was shown up against, and it's not his fault because I think these are the tactics we were playing, but there was no help for Udogie.
He did not track back at all. No.
And I think Solomon does track back a little bit more, but from what I understand, that's the way Ange wants to play. It's on your wing backs to do that. So for me, I think Solomon just offers a little bit more running than Johnson did. But whether that's because he was starting to feel his hamstring, I don't know, or whether he just isn't fit enough, I don't know. But, another few games into the season, and it's probably a different scenario. Yes, you start Johnson, definitely. But to me...
For now, ease him in.
Game, I just think the way Johnson went off, let's just not risk him straight away. I think it's just bring him on after 67 minutes.
Super sub. Yeah, have him against some tired legs where he doesn't really even maybe have to push himself and go all out. He can play it maybe a slightly. Yeah.
Well, if you watch when his hamstring tightened or whatever, he wasn't even at full pace. He was just
gliding past people.
You know, he wasn't sprinting or anything. So, you know, to me, just give him a little bit more time. Let his muscles, you know, get used to the fitness and that. To me,
yeah, 100%. I agree. I think that it's really cool having Solomon and Brennan Johnson. They both just have such pace that you know they're both going to be. I mean, either one you can start sub in the other one. You know, against tired legs. I think that's awesome. I'm excited for Brian Hill to be back. I'm excited. You know, I just watched some clips of him. We give him a lot of stick, and we don't really, you know, give him a good chance, I don't think, of making it here. But when I watch clips of him, he looks like the type of winger that I think would be at Spurs. You know, tricky, can beat a man, play some beautiful football, and is exciting. And I mean, that's what Spurs has always been about for me is exciting, beautiful football.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Phil. You know, we look when he first sort of started to play a couple of games for us. He was just too lightweight. He was getting knocked off the ball and things like that. But then after a couple of games with Conte, he started to look a little bit decent. You know, and he's got a good reputation. So to me, the system we're playing now will suit his game. So, you know, I'm quite looking forward to, because I think, again, Ange is the type of manager that's going to put his arm around him and say, just go play. Go show us what you can do. And that's why
I think that's why he got the NLD start. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that he was like, all right, well, you know, you want to do it, go do it. Here's the big stage. And he didn't look phased. You know, he didn't look particularly like out of his depth or anything. So I think the future's bright. The future is lily white, as they say. But Soren, I'm gonna wrap things up here. I just wanted to thank everybody in the comments that's been here. We have had people in and out. It's been a long show. I meant to go for a half hour. I went for 2. That's just how it goes sometimes when you're talking Spurs with your friends. And I consider all of you guys my friends, everybody in the chat, everybody that's been on the show. Soren, again, thank you for joining. Everyone in the chat, though, if you could, hit a like if you haven't. If you're not subscribed to the channel for some reason, I bet you already are because you're here. But if you're not, subscribe. Recommend it to your friends, your mom, your brother, everybody. They'd probably like it if they're a Spurs fan. It's a pretty chill, no real arguments, yelling show. And again, we appreciate all you guys. And then this is the part that I hate to do. There is a Patreon. You can be a member if you'd like. Help fund the channel. Help. I always do this. Help keep the lights on, if you will. We've got 2 members. I just want to say Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. Chris Peters just had to dip out. Chris Peters, you're an awesome man. You're a legend. Same to you, Wayne. Both been there and are in there like swimwear. Been there for me since the beginning. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, Soren, what's your score prediction for Liverpool?
It kind of worries me a little bit about Liverpool. I'm not sure. Look, I mean, before every match, when somebody asks me what the score is going to be, other than City, I'm going to say a win. So I'm going to say 2-1.
That's my guess.
If it's 4-3 or 5-4 or 6-3 or 6-2 or whatever, but I'm going to go 2-1 to the Spurs and just hope. Just hope. But if I'm proved wrong, I'm wrong. But who cares?
Hey, exactly. You're positive. I think it'll be 2-1 either way. I don't know if it's going to be Spurs winning or Liverpool, but I think it's going to be a very close match. And I think that we'll just edge it. But I mean, like I said, I've been wrong before.
What gets me is, obviously coming up to the Arsenal match, we were told we were going to get slaughtered if we go and play our way against them. We came out with a 2-2 draw. Liverpool is obviously the biggest test and the more informed team at the moment. So, look, if we come out of this with a point or 3 points, then you've got to start believing in this team. You've got to start believing in this team.
Absolutely. And hopefully Ange can show everybody that he means business, that his style of play will cut the mustard in the Premier League. I mean, he's already shown that it will. So, yeah. I think everything's looking great, Soren. I'm excited for the match. I'll have another show tomorrow around the same time if you want to come join.
No, I'm in London. I'm heading down to the big city I've got a big festival on this weekend. So.
Oh, man, nice. Yeah. Well, hey, have a great time. Enjoy yourself and be safe, my man.
Will be, yeah. Hopefully down to the stadium after the match, or meeting up with some Spurs friends that have been to the match as well. So we'll see.
That'll be lovely. That'll be awesome. Well, you have a good time. And everybody in the chat and everybody that's watching, I just want to say, and to Soren too, you guys, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope everything goes swimmingly. Hope you're successful in your endeavors. Go out and do something nice for somebody, guys. It feels good. It's great. We got to be nicer to each other in this world. It's a mean place. And so, I think we'll end it there. Just everybody be nice to each other. That's what I got to say.
Definitely. So, and hit the like.
Hit the like, everybody. Please do. Again, Soren, thank you for being here, buddy. I hope you have a great rest of your day, my man.
Yep. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy. And now is the time of the show to say you have been watching Talkin' Ball. Thank you so much for joining us. This show is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you for joining us. Just want to say we will be back tomorrow right around the same time. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, which will then tell you when we are going live. Again, we've had people in the chat from all over. We've had Americans in the chat. We've had Brits in the chat. We've had Aussies in the chat. I just want to thank all of you guys. And like I said, no matter what time it is or where you're at, please have a lovely and wonderful day. Thanks again for watching. This has been Talkin' Ball. I'm Colin. See you tomorrow. Come on, you.